So let's talk a little bit more about what exactly you said last week. It was the guidance for revenue growth and profit. If you map it out to 2030, I believe that only targets about 5% annual growth. So is that Ferrari being cautious prudently here, or do you actually see something troubling ahead when it comes to the luxury market?
But I think that the plan we shared last week is equally ambitious as the last one. I think that 3 years ago we committed to deliver, and we delivered on our promises. We are committing, and we will deliver on our promises. So the confidence is over there. We want to address this market, this strategic view with the same grit and determination as we did before.
So not setting the bar low to then surpass
I don't think. I mean, one gentleman in the capital market, they asked me if the plan was equally ambitious or not. And I believe this plan is ambitious, equally ambitious.
Michael Dean from Bloomberg Intelligence was there. He said he had a fantastic time, so well done.
Thank you.
But he did say he expected more in terms of free cash flow. You have 8 billion euros penciled in over 5 years. He's looking for 9. Shareholder returns, you have roughly 7 billion euros split between dividends and buybacks. He said he was disappointed by that as well. Why do you think investors or analysts, the street, is expecting more from you?
Maybe they are expecting, they believe that we don't care too much about scarcity. I think for us, scarcity is important. It's embedded in our business model. We want to make sure that the scarcity is always kept over there. I like to say that this is not a 100-meter sprint. This is a marathon, and we have to make sure that we do not alienate our client. Because if the client is happy, the investor is happy. The other way around may not work.
I think he's expecting more in terms of margins. I talk to him all the time, and he says, like, the margins on something like the Icona or the F80 are just jaw-dropping. He's looking for more like 43, 44, 45%. And you did forecast more than 40%.
We said two things, more than 40
yes.
EBITDA and more than 30 EBIT, right?
Yeah.
And I think we did also visibility for 6 years. I don't know how many companies are giving visibility for so long nowadays.
Are you going to be selling more of these Iconas? These are the special, incredibly high price tag vehicles. I heard, for example, that you can order one with a gated shifter, which got me very excited. Next time I come up with $4 million, I'll put it in my order. But are you going to sell more of those in the mix along with the F80?
But I think that we have always to make sure that this Icona and this supercar are limited. There was a clear message from a clear chart from our CFO that was telling that the number of Icona supercars will not go more than 5%. And we want to stick to it. I think that to have our client happy, he has to feel that he owns something that not too many people can have it. And I think this is the business model of Ferrari. The scarcity must be managed well, and we have to take care of the client. This is important.
I do want to go back a little bit to last week and the Capital Markets Day, because it was a two-parter, right? You unveiled your financial targets, but you also were showcasing the Elettrica, your first, of course, EV. And it's the opinion of Bloomberg Intelligence that really it was the EV technology that was overshadowed by the financial targets, that those ultimately ended up being the focus. And in hindsight, would you maybe have separated those two announcements?
I know this feeling of Bloomberg, but I have to say that I had a lot of other comments positive in this direction. They said it's good that you show to the community that what you said 3 years before, it was happening. Because 3 years before we said, we want to show you that we are on target and we are going to unveil the Elettrica, Ferrari Elettrica, and we did. So I think that I fully respect this point of view and this consideration, but I think it was important for two reasons. Number one, to show that we are on track and we deliver on our promises. Number two, that we had to show to all the people over there for the Capital Market Day to show the beauty of our new car.
And to be fair to the Bloomberg newsroom, I mean, the shares did drop by the most since 2016. So I don't know, maybe some of the Wall Street analysts shared that view as well. But I do want to talk a little bit more directly about electric Ferraris, because you lowered your targets to 20% of the lineup by 2030. Previously, it had been 40%. Would love to hear a little bit more about that decision to lower the target.
I figured that would drive the shares higher. You know? You're making more internal combustion engines than we expected. That's what we want from a Ferrari,
yeah,
right?
Matt, but look, I think it's important. Last time as this time we said something important. This is not a split of our sales. This is a split of our offer. Because at the end of the story, it's the client that is going to select if he wants to drive ICE, hybrid, or Elettrica. So it's up to him or to her to select. The reason why we dropped or we reduced, we trimmed down the split of the 20% of the offer is because we have seen what is happening around us. So we pushed the number of model overall has been increased overall. And number two, in this mix, we increased the thermal, the ICE.
When are we going to see the body in white, and when are we going to hear it? Because apparently it's going to be amplified motor sounds.
Within H1 next year. We keep delivering on our promises. Phase 1, done. Phase 2 is going to be, let's say, in Q1, phase 2 in Q2, within Q2.
Can I talk about something that you probably are sick of hearing it from me, but
no.
Analog versus digital, right?
Yeah.
You're putting buttons back on the
Yes.
steering wheel in the Amalfi, which I'm very
Not only in Amalfi,
excited
in all
about.
the car of this year.
So that's fantastic. I imagine customers ask for that, right? You've still got fields of screens in there, and I've driven a number of very expensive cars where they have screens replacing these elegant and beautiful analog gauges. Why don't we go back to clocks that are enamel with needles? Wouldn't that be more exciting for a Ferrari buyer?
Look, we said clearly that we are a big fan of phygital. It means that you use digital where it's needed and physical where it's needed. I can tell you that all the time this year we presented the 5 cars, the 2 Speciale, 6-cylinder, the 2 Testarossa, Spider and Coupe, and the Ferrari Amalfi, when we told our client and the entire world that we are going back to the button where you feel it, okay, without touching, without looking, because when you drive, you need to look at the road. Well, that was a big, big applause we had. So we will use digital where it's needed and physical where it's needed.
Can I just ask about the shifters? Because I spend so much time on Bring a Trailer. I'm looking at 360s, I'm looking at 430s, sometimes 575s and 612s. And I noticed that the premium for a manual is massive, 50, 60, 70%, sometimes even double for the manual car versus the auto box. So doesn't that mean customers want to buy that new too?
Look, you have to listen to client for something. For something else, you cannot listen. For something else, maybe some good hint for the future.
So maybe in the future you can just make a suggestion box and Matt can put his comments directly in there. Before
He has to come to see us.
There you go. Before we let you go, I do want to talk a little bit about China, because you take a look at some of your peers in Porsche, BMW, Mercedes on a slightly different price point there, but they're rapidly losing market share when it comes to China. And I wonder, when you look at that, are you confident that you're going to be able to buck the trend there?
But since the beginning, at least since I joined the company, we said that for us, China is, mainland China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong will be below 10%. That's what we said recently. I think that last year, Ferrari did not have an offer that was fitting well the Chinese market, because we were having only 12 cylinders and we had a Roma Spider with soft hat. It's not so welcome. Now we are going to change. We are enrich, let me see, the offer for China. Elettrica could be also a good, interesting car for them, also because you will not have all the taxes that you have on ICE.